Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Kevin over at jkjohnson.com. Today I'm going to be talking about staying encouraged and positive in a world of complainers. The more I begin to keep my mouth closed and start to listen to people, the more I realize there's a lot of complaining going on. You know, there's a lot of people just complaining and fussing and just in distress and stressed out about a whole lot of stuff, a whole lot of nothing really. Some of it's something and some of it's nothing. It just depends. But that's a part of life. You're gonna complain and you're gonna be frustrated and you're gonna be angry and you're gonna go through some negative emotions about things. But it's our desire, it's our goal, it's our mission to not stay there and allow ourselves to dwell there. So I'm going to talk about today staying encouraged and positive in a world of complainers. And if you consider yourself a part of the body of Christ, if you consider yourself a child of God, if you consider yourself a part of the called out, it's in our best interest. It's part of our job description. It's part of our obligation, our responsibility to first and foremost keep ourselves encouraged, meaning strengthened in God and strengthened in our relationship with Jesus Christ, with the Father through His Son, Jesus Christ, and to also strengthen others who fall under the hands of our stewardship, who fall in the circle of our sphere of influence. So it's part of our walk. It's part of our job description to first and foremost make sure that we are strengthened and encouraged, and that also that we do the same for others. So this is a very important subject, I believe, especially with respect to the world that we live in, and that there aren't many individuals speaking encouraging words on a continual basis. I scroll through the Facebooks, the tweets, I scroll through the social media outlets, and I look at the scrolls, and for just about every one word of encouragement, I see about 20 words of discouragement, complaining, and fussing and fighting, and just about any other negative display of posts that you can get out there. So I see a lot of positivity. Don't get me wrong. I see those things and I focus on things, but I also see a lot of complaining too. So given that I consider it part of my job description to be an encouraging person and to speak encouragement in life and help lift you up and inspire and motivate you in your day-to-day walk, and building a circle that will hopefully feed back to me the same in my times of weakness. Given that I see that this is part of my job description, hopefully you see it as part of yours. This is important because when I learn to speak encouraging words, words have power. That there used to be, when I was growing up, and I'm sure when you was growing up, it still goes on today. There used to be a saying that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And the truth of the matter is that words do hurt, and words do have the power to lift or tear down. So it's important that if you consider yourself a child of the light, if you consider yourself salt, savory salt, that you add value. And one of the ways you add value to another person's life is, one easy way to do it is just by speaking good things into their life. So it doesn't cost you much to speak a few good words into somebody, but when somebody's really in a moment in which they need those words, it's priceless. It's worth more than $1 million when received. I posted it on Facebook this morning. So if you see somebody that needs some words of encouragement, give it to them. If you don't think they need it, give it to them anyway. It's free. You know what I'm saying? Sow that seed. You never know where that seed will plant, and you never know the harvest that you will reap from that seed just by being a child of light, just by doing what you're supposed to be doing in the first place. So I'm going to spend a few moments just kind of dwelling and talking about this subject, this topic, and hopefully it helps you along your way. And in that when you speak words of encouragement, when you help build up others, you are not only helping that person out, but you're also helping yourself, in that you're sowing seeds that will find its way back to you in some way, shape, or form. It's part of natural law, and it's part of the laws that govern this universe that we live in, that there is cause and effect. There is reward or consequence for every action displayed, for every word spoken. Words do not go out void. For every emotion felt, for every thought. These things have rewards or consequences attached to them. So we want to make sure that we stay connected with the Creator Almighty, so that every fiber of our being, we see that we're caught in a positive feedback loop of life, a positive feedback loop of life, that we're spiraling up to greater glory, from glory to glory, as one scripture says. There's levels to this, so you want to keep leveling up in your life, spiraling up until it's your time to turn in, until it's your time to go off the scene and pass the mantle on to the next generation to leave a legacy. So, just talking about that, let me go through some scriptures real quick. There's nothing like actually having real words that are eternal, words that really matter, that will help sustain you when the organist shuts off the organist, or when the pianist gets off the piano, or when the guitarist get off the guitarist in church, when the hymnal book is put up. Words, truth and sincerity, words that will sustain you, and that have their source from the Creator. The source is the Creator. I think in John, it talks about logos, the Word. The Word is God. So the very Word is God. So when you start reading these words, you take them in, you consume them, you allow them to become a part of you. You can't help but be encouraged no matter what. So let's go to real quickly. Just want to talk about real quick. Your strength is in God. So if you consider yourself a part of the body of the called out, that you will find when you will find that your real, true, authentic source of encouragement is first and foremost found in your relationship with God. And when you do that, it's your job to do the same for others. Let's go to Deuteronomy 1:38 real quick. Deuteronomy 1:38. Let me see here. Deuteronomy 1:38. But Joshua the son of Nun, which standeth before thee, he shall go in thither. Encourage him, for he shall cause Israel to inherit it. And I think this is Moses talking about Moses passing on the mantle to Joshua, and how Joshua was selected to be the next person in line as far as leading Israel into the land of Canaan. And we see where Moses is telling the people to encourage him. That is to fasten, to seize, to be strong, to fortify him. So it's part of your job to speak encouraging words to those who are in leadership above you. Don't complain about them. That's easier said than done. I know it is. I know it is easier said than done, especially when you're not too thrilled about who holds a specific space or a specific position. Your man or your woman may not always be in holding the office or the position or a title that you think they are worthy of. But if they are in a leadership position within your organization, your community, within a body that you are a part of, it's in your best interest to encourage them to lead and do the right thing, whether you think they will do it or won't do it, or whether you think they are doing it or not. It's still in your best interest. It's your obligation to speak encouraging words to them, to always do the right thing and do what they were selected to do. So just looking at that, it doesn't do you any good to complain, and it will get nobody nowhere. Problems will still be around after you get done complaining, and nothing will get done with a lot of complaining going on. You know, I was at work the other day, and I was working with this guy, and he was just complaining about having to do a specific task, and he would complain, and then he would leave spaces for me to join in. But you know what? I never joined in. And he would just look at me. No, I never joined in. I didn't say, I didn't do nothing. I kept on working. Because I learned a long time ago, when you agree with that, you take on that mindset. And then it spreads. And then the next thing you'll know, you'll be tired. You'll be ready to throw in the towel. You'll be ready to quit. You'll be discouraged. All because of you let somebody else's complaining and discouragement affect you. When you're connected to God, you can reverse that. You can reverse that curse. And you know what happens when I shut up? He shuts up and he gets the job done. And we get out there. We get out of that task a little faster, and then you can do all the complaining you want on the way back to the shop. You know what I'm saying? You can complain about hard. We can do it together, laugh about it, and say, yeah, that was rough. But while we're doing it, I ain't talking. I'm getting it done. Let's go get her done. Do what we got to do, and complain about it as we're throwing in the towel, as we're clocking out for the day. Me complaining about it at lunchtime, or me complaining about it on break, ain't helping nobody out. So you want to be a person of encouragement around those around you. But first and foremost, you have to make sure that you solidify your relationship with the Creator, so that you can always be in a position so that you could hold your position. And if you do lose ground, so you can be resilient and bounce back. So Joshua 1:1-9. Then also, I didn't. Let's see. That was Deuteronomy 1:38. Let me go to Joshua 1:1-9. Joshua 1:1-9. Now after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that I have given unto you, as I said unto Moses. From the wilderness in this Lebanon, even unto the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea, toward the going down of the sun, shall be your coast. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so will I be with thee. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Be strong and of good courage, for unto this people shall thou divide for an inheritance the land which I swear unto their fathers to give them. Only be thou strong and be very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest. Now I went up to 7, and I'm going to stop there, but well, let me keep going real quick. Let me go to 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make the way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest. Now this is powerful. I got some other verses, but I might just stay here for the next few minutes and just finish out here. I love reading this because in this we find a blueprint for staying strong and staying encouraged, even in times, those rough and tough times. First and foremost, we see that this is God talking to Joshua. So first and foremost, we see that Joshua had a relationship with the Creator, in which the Creator directly spoke to him. Is your relationship such that God speaks to you? Is your relationship strong enough such that God speaks to you, whether it be audible, whether it be inkling, whether it be urging, whether it be you're actually reading the Bible and reading His Word and contemplating things and having phrases and words jump out at you, and having things speak to you in that still small voice that pushes you to study and seek and research something a little further at a particular point. Is your relationship strong, or in which when you come in encounter with another person of God, that the words that they speak to you are confirmation, not revelation? At various points in our walk, sometimes when we encounter other persons of God, and they give us words of encouragement, sometimes it may come off as revelation, in that we're not hearing the voice of God for ourselves. But you want to make sure that you develop your relationship so strong that when you encounter others, that their words are confirmation and witness, and that they're confirming what God has already spoken into your life to you personally. So we see that Joshua had a personally strong relationship with God, and God is prepping him to go into the land of Israel. He's getting ready to go to war. And we can't forget that we are in a spiritual battle on a daily basis. So we're constantly in war. In war, there's tough times. So you want to make sure that your relationship is strong with the commander, because the commander is going to give you some instructions that you need to survive. Not only to survive, but to thrive and live joyfully and peacefully, and live triumphantly and victoriously, regardless of what the outside circumstances may be at the moment. So this is in order to live an encouraging and positive life in today's world of complainers. You want to make sure that your relationship with the Creator is strong. You want to do whatever it takes to make sure that it's strong. And I'm going to talk about some how-tos later. Stick with me here. We're going to go through a few how-tos to keep that relationship strong. And I'm only going to be with you for about 10 more minutes, so bear with me. I'm trying to work on my time here. But just thinking about Joshua. Looking at Joshua and making sure that your relationship is so strong that the Creator Himself is talking to you, and that the Creator Himself is strengthening you and encouraging you, and that you have His Spirit. When you look up in the New Testament, when you look up Spirit, the Holy Ghost, it means comforter. One of the terms used is comforter, and when you look up the word for comforter, you'll see that it means to walk beside. So you're never alone. You're never alone when you come into the body of Christ. You will always have somebody walking beside you, speaking to you and giving you that strength in that time of need. So you're never, ever alone. Let's see. Stay rooted in God's relationship. Okay. Now, in doing this and keeping your relationship with God strong, it then becomes your responsibility to make sure you do the same for others. That's the whole reasoning why you want to make sure you stay strong, so that you reverse the curse, that you become somebody who stops the complaining. The buck stops with you. You're the one that reverses it, and you reverse the situation and say, "Hey, look, come on now, we ain't gonna sit here and listen to all this shit's complaining, this trash, and this garbage. You can take that somewhere else, because I ain't got time for all this. This has got to get done. We got this to accomplish. So you can take that over there, you and your complaining self, and be mad about it if you want to. But I ain't gonna listen to it. I ain't got time for that, and life is too short." You know what I'm saying? So that's what we want to happen. And you got to stay rooted. Let's go to Galatians 6:1 real quick. Galatians 6:1. Just want to speak some encouraging words to you today, brethren. If a man be overtaken in a fault, you which are spiritual, restore such an one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted. So it's your responsibility to make sure that you keep yourself spiritual in a world that is pushing carnality, in a world that is pushing you do you, I do me, live in the here and now. Everything's natural. Don't worry about the consequences of your actions. There is no absolute truth. There is no moral code that you have to give yourself over into to maintain a certain status. You can live that way if you want to, but if you consider yourself a child of God, it's your responsibility to make sure that you first and foremost keep in your line of thought, in your sight, that you are first and foremost a spiritual being first and a natural being secondly. You are a spiritual being. You live according to spiritual law, the spiritual laws of the kingdom, and you live out those spiritual laws of the kingdom in this natural earth realm, and you do that so that you can help others do the same. You can help pull others out of the fire, so to speak, the fire of the world, the enslavement, the spiritual enslavement of the world. You walk in complete freedom, and it's your responsibility to encourage and to live life in such a way that you naturally strengthen other people and give other people the hope and the resolve, the determination to do so, the strength to actually do so and cross over. That's what it means to be Hebrew, crossed over, one who crosses over. That's what it means to be a part of the church. It means to be a part of the called out. Called out from what? Called out from living the way of the world, the pattern of the world, the behaviors that the world participate in. Called out from that and called into light, called into the kingdom of light, called into the kingdom of God, in which we live by another way, a better way, a way that leads to life eternal, a way that leads to a life of abundance, a way that leads to a life of freedom and jubilee, a way that leads to a life of joyfulness and happiness, a way that leads to a life of a body that's disease-free, a heart that is peaceful, resilient, and full of positive and thankfulness and gratitude, a heart of gratitude, and a mind that is clear and sober and logical and wise and full of knowledge and deep understanding, that has common sense. We don't have. What happened to the common sense today? So this is the importance of maintaining your relationship and doing your duty as being part of God. What are some ways that you could stay encouraged in God and also stay encouraging to others and stay encouraged for yourself? What are some ways that you can do that? Number one, making sure that your relationship with the Creator is tight, meaning you pray or you talk, you communicate on a daily basis. You cast your cares on Him every day. You renew your mind every day. You learn and you seek to trust and strengthen your faith in Him every day. You contemplate His words every day. This is how you do it spiritually. As far as your mind, you surround yourself with good thoughts, meaning you might have to cut off the news. You might have to mitigate your time with negative people who are always spewing out negative things. Doesn't mean you completely cut them out of your life forever. It just means that you kind of spend less time with them and more time with people who speak good thoughts to you and speak uplifting words to you. You find and you cultivate a group or circle of people who will help you maintain those good thoughts. You might have to watch the lyrics of the music that you listen to. You might have to watch, keep an eye on and guard your mind against some of the movies and some of the other media. You might have to trim down your social media timeline a little bit, or pay less attention. You might have to block some people. I don't know. You might have to do some things. Your emotional life, you might have to mitigate. You do have to mitigate negative emotions. It's not that you won't feel them. It's not that you won't. Those things won't happen to you, but you don't stay there. You don't dwell there. You might. You learn to let these things flow through you. You learn to you feel these things and you just keep on going. Let's see. Oh, yeah, you surround yourself with good-hearted people. Physically, you do your best to do what it takes to stay in good health. Things like getting good sleep, eating good food, supplementing with supplements is going to help you feel better and fill in some of those gaps in your diet where you may be lacking. Exercising. Did I say exercising? I mean, exercising, getting out, walking in the sun for a few minutes, getting out and biking and just sitting outside and walking, exercising, doing some resistance workouts, doing whatever it takes to keep your body physically functional so you're not hurting like the Tin Man. So you're not like the Tin Man or Tin Woman getting up in the morning. You want to surround yourself with good people, looking at relationships, people who speak good to you, think good to you. They help lift you up, and they pray for you when they see that you're needing it. They dust you off. You know what I'm saying? So just looking at relationships and surrounding yourself with good people. These are ways in which I've implemented over the years to make sure I stay encouraged and positive and uplifted at most of the time of my life. Actually, a lot of the time in my life, it's very rare that I'm actually down. And maybe in another show or something, I'll talk about where I come from and that I used to deal with anxiousness. I used to deal with worry. I used to deal with bitterness. I used to deal with a lot of negative emotions. So this is in clear opposition to the way I used to be. So I'm not talking from book knowledge. I'm talking from life experiences that were dark and that I wouldn't wish just about anybody to go through. So when you come out, you want to make sure that you can do what you can to have as many people avoid that same road as you can. You want to practice some proactive therapies that'll help you, like listening to good music. I always got good music going on in my life, in my background, to set the mode of the atmosphere, to set the environment. Looking at other proactive practices, like I always got a batch of essential oils around me that I use for incense, and I use to put a place on my body, like lavender and frankincense and myrrh and patchouli, peppermint, you name it, eucalyptus, you name the smell. I pretty much use it on a regular basis, just because it's part of my proactive therapeutic process of implementing and using just about every sense that I can to make sure that I keep myself uplifted. Fashion. Look at what you wear. There ain't nothing to make you feel good like a good suit or a good dress or a good cloth on your body. These are things that help you feel good, strengthened, and encouraged. Laugh a lot. Take time to make sure that you laugh every day. Smile. Hug people. In a culture, hug. Make sure you take the time to actually hug somebody. Touch is good. So I'm gonna end it right here. I just wanted to take a few minutes to speak some encouraging words into your life about the importance of staying encouraged, making sure you make it a high priority in your life. If you consider yourself to be a part of the called out, to first and foremost be an encouraging person, encouraged and strengthened in your relationship with God, so that you can reverse the curse of those who fall under your influence, your stewardship, your hand of your circle, and how important that is. I just want to talk about that. So this is Kevin over at jkjohnson.com. Just let me know what you think. Give me your feedback. You can come over to Spreaker.com. You may find me that way. Give me some feedback. You'll find me on Facebook under J Kevin Johnson. You can find me at YouTube. You can find me on some other platforms too. If you look for me, you can find me on Google. Type in jkevinjohnson.com. You might see me at the top of the page on Google. Who knows? Especially if you go if you search under images, you'll find me there too. So, and whichever way, form, or fashion that you can find me, let me know you're out there, that you're listening, and hopefully this has added value to you and your life for today. So this is Kevin over at jkevinjohnson.com signing off. May his face shine on you and give you peace.